Parker.
Yeah, Blaine Rocco is having a good run the top 10. Oh, seems like they blew a right front.
That's Blaine's car, yeah.
Yeah, definitely blew a right front there.
Look at what happened to him coming off of turn 4. It's going to go straight.
Yeah, that's definitely a right front issue.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's tough. That's exactly what you don't want to have happen. You're in the throttle hard, coming off the corner, and as a driver, you're just a passenger.
And then this happened.
Dave, another cut down right front tire here. Just another product of maybe picking something up off the racetrack, cutting that tire, and having it happen in the wrong place. Very reminiscent of what we saw.
Just a few laps remaining. Green is back out at Kern. Wow, in trouble in the middle of the pack.
Drew Landauer there is involved. Oh, 14 goes over there.
Matt Levine on his lid in the 14 car as he rolled over the top of Blaine Perkins in the 21. And that was like a delayed reaction there, Parker.
Yeah, that's just one of those things. Sometimes you maybe feel like you've even been through the wreck, and then another car just comes up in front of you out of nowhere, and next thing you know, you're launching off them like a ramp. That was one of the weirder things I've seen happen.
It's right there. The second one is actually the restart line, and the bottom line, Parker, goes, but the top line, which is the control line, really doesn't.
Yeah, I got to think Partridge maybe jumped a little bit, and Gillen was caught off guard. When you see what happens here is that when they have that bottleneck, the 54 gets turned by the 14 Levine, and then what happens is Perkins coming down the track. Levine's hood is up, as you'll see here. He can't see as the 21 comes down the track, spinning out after he gets back to the throttle, and Levine goes over Perkins' hood, launching like a ramp, flipped over. A very low-speed incident, as we said, which is unusual, but obviously Levine just couldn't see and had nowhere to go.
That stack up on the outside causing the 21 to spin. The 14 goes over.
Boy, the 3 wide. I didn't think we'd see that tonight on the short track.
Oh, and not for long. Not only in the fence, but riding along it. Wow. Right up on the edge was the number 19 of Riley Herbst. Comes from the famed off-road racing family. Watch this. The 19 going to get right up on that wall.
Oh, Todd Gillen gets knocked sideways right there. That gets him 3 wide.
Yeah, then Julia tries to get to the inside in the 54, and they're just going to run out of space, and Riley just going to ride the coping like a skateboarder in a swimming pool. Here's Heather. Has been led from the initial green by Ryan Partridge in the 9, and he continues to lead here now as, well, 3 cars around, and Philippi had really nowhere to go as John Wood and Dan O'Donnell got together.
And you saw how quickly the 39 of Dan Philippi spun out right there again. When he locked up his brakes, it looks like the rear, he's got too much rear brake in that car. I think that's what caused the earlier spin.
Yeah, you can see the second car there got turned, and then Philippi had nowhere to go.
And he's sideways outside of Grayson Raz right here, and here comes the 6 of Cole Rouse, and he's got nowhere to go. And just hammers the left rear tire of the 06.
Damages the left rear of the 06.
Help Chris Eggleston be able to make a pass.
Oh, no. Traffic in the way. Partridge has a big problem. And around goes Partridge, who has absolutely dominated the night.
Wow, what a crushing blow to Ryan Partridge. He's running such a beautiful race right there. I just feel like, I mean, the lap car was trying to go to the bottom and force the issue on the bottom. You see him right here. The lap car is trying to go to the bottom instead of moving to the top and get out of his way. And you know, I can't fault either one of them a lot. I think that the Rich DeLong should have moved to the top of the racetrack and given Ryan Partridge a clear path through there.
I think that's where Ryan thought.
But that wasn't good for Perkins, as up front they're side by side.
Oh! Cole Moore spins out in the 20. Oh, and having a good night here in the first start of the season.
Riley Herbst got a piece of it, and Matt Levine looks like he put the binders on just in time, but you got to, looks like it. Here is the lead. Right behind him, there's the 20, and he gets contact from Perkins.
Yeah, just Perkins was way under the rear end of his car, and then you see Riley Herbst comes along and just clips Cole Moore there, ripping apart that rear decking and rear bodywork.
Green flag, and we're racing here. Sonoma already. We've got cars scattering on the front straightaway into the wall, and we're going to clog it up right here at the start-finish line. Oh, my.
Oh, man, that is not what you want to see from Todd Gillen and Chris Eggleston, both involved here, your points leader and second in points. Wow, disaster here on the front stretch. It looks like something happened to Todd Gillen's car. He got picked up, either he missed a shift or something, and got spun around, and the field just piled in.
Got it here, Parker.
Oh, so it's actually David Mayhew doesn't go.
Yes.
So that's what it was. So obviously something happened to David Mayhew. Todd Gillen couldn't anticipate it, thinking the green flag is out. Everyone's going to get going. He gets checked up by David Mayhew. He has to back up, and the other guys run into him. And eventually, as I said before, there was nowhere to go for so many of the
Vegas Ford continues to lead.
Looking really good. Oh, we got another car off here.
Yeah, that's the 40 machine off into the dirt. That's Brian Wong.
Ooh, and he has a lot of damage. Something big has happened here. You can see that right front is completely out of the car. The front end is completely moved over to the wall. Yeah, let's look here. Cole Rouse, just comes off the curb, loses the front end, gets in the left rear of Brian Wong, and he is just a passenger at that point into the tire barrier. Hard hit for Brian Wong, and really nothing he could do. He was giving Cole Rouse all the room he could possibly give him, and just Cole Rouse was coming into him. Oh, and here's what happened to Nealand. Same situation almost. Just gets in the left rear and spins him around.
Yeah, the 22 car is James Brancati.
That will happen here on the last restart with Cole Rouse, so not the best restarts for him.
Here we go again, Parker. This time it's the 22 involved, James Brancati, and the 86, Tim Spurgeon, in there. And it looks like the 14 tied up with it as well, Matt Levine.
Noah Gragson.
Here's that last incident.
Oh, looks like Brancati is on the
devastating to his hopes tonight.
Absolutely devastating. That pit road on the outside of the racetrack, you're going to go 1 or 2 laps down. Oh, as we have a huge spin here by Eggleston, Todd Gillen gets into him, spins him out of the lead.
Oh, and Ryan Partridge was involved in, well, that is a big, watch this here.
Well, as we see here, Gillen's going to the inside, Eggleston, and Partridge gets real close to the rear bumper of Gillen. Seems like he just might get into him a little bit. Gillen had already gotten in the corner really hard trying to get to the inside of Eggleston. As we look once again, just looks like, yeah, Gillen's already maybe a little bit loose. He's gone in the corner pretty hard, but that little nudge from Partridge is just enough to send him.
And he's chasing him in the points. Gillen right back there in second. Things are getting awful intense throughout the top 10 here, and around goes the 6 car.
Wow, Cole Rouse was on the outside. He had been put 3 wide 2 or 3 times with Havens in the center. It was getting really tight.
He's got Grayson Raz to the inside, but watch Havens in the 83. I think that's where the contact comes, Parker.
Yeah, Havens was falling back. He had been put in the center 3 wide 2 or 3 times, as I said. And as he came here off turn 4, they got just real tight. And then as they go down into turn 1, Havens goes up the racetrack, maybe just overdrove a little bit, and Cole Rouse was sitting there. They came together, and Cole Rouse went around.
Parker.
Oh, they get into each other.
Right there in the first corner. Gregson trying to take the lead, trying to protect the bottom. Here's Gillen. Around goes Partridge. The points leader has been spun in turn 2. Caution is out.
Gillen made another aggressive move on the restart, trying to put it 3 wide. He went down to the bottom, fighting for the same piece of real estate. See him all the way down on the apron here. Nothing that Gregson could do. He was being pushed into the middle there, pushed into Partridge, who gets spun out as the loser in all this. Gillen comes away with the lead. Very aggressive move, but you would expect it here for someone who's come all the way through the pack, driving very aggressively as Gillen has.
He's going to make the inside. He got the roof on the inside.
Down the backstretch now. Contact between the leaders. And Partridge gets through. Just what they didn't want to see, Frank.
Oh, Bill McAnally is pulling his hair right now. He's got his top 2 teams have just taken each other out.
And the other thing that I saw, I wonder if Partridge had a little contact as he went through there. But the main thing is, here's another look.
And you see Chris Eggleston on the bottom right here. He's got a good move. He gets in the gas, gets a little bit loose. He has to turn the wheel back to the right, and when he does, he just barely catches his teammate, Todd Gillen. Certainly not an intentional move at all on his part. He was a little anxious right there.
Into turn 1, left of your screen.
Yeah, hard to...
Oh, it's Ron Norman. It's Ron Norman in the 30, and Ron was on the receiving end a little earlier.
Yeah, Ron certainly didn't like what had happened to him earlier, evidently, and he decided to have a little retribution there with Riley Herbst. Wow, what an impact right there.
High on the wall was Herbst, but thankfully those wants by.
And she's got Nicole Behar on her outside.
And oh, no, they spin in turn number 1. Eggleston's in the wall, and the caution is out again.
3 wide does not work on a quarter-mile racetrack, Dave. I haven't seen it work very often, and it didn't work right there.
Well, and as usual, Frank, they're trying to make it work.
A tough time here lately.
Here's the 3 wide you were talking about. Behar on the inside. It's Grayson Raz on the inside that kind of gets into Landauer, and then Landauer pretty much gets into the 50.
Yeah, and remember, they're teammates right there, so that's a tough deal to swallow, tough pill to swallow.
It looks like Behar may have even had a little contact on the way by.
She did a really nice job of getting stopped right there, figuring out where. Let's watch it right here. See, there's Grayson Raz on the bottom. He's in there, and Julia Landauer comes down a little bit, and she's got to go back up the racetrack a little bit when she realizes that Grayson Raz is there. I don't think she realized it to begin with. When she moved back up the racetrack.
Whoa, and around goes one car, and Robinson gets collected into it.
That's John Wood.
That's John Wood, yep.
Now, that's unfortunate for Vanessa right there.
Into a real mess and then just gets caught up in this one.
It looks like here's John on the bottom right here. Pretty low right there. Again, we talked about that little bit of dampness right there. Hard to see whether he'd got his left rear maybe in a little bit of wet stuff, and he was able to just spun him right around.
Yeah, I think he just got on the gas and it just.
Ryan Partridge in the lead right now is just saying, I hope we don't get a caution here. And we've got one, Ralph.
Yep, we sure do. 3 cars involved. Stafford Smith and the silver 38, Bill Kahn and the red and green number 18, and it's John Wood pulling away in the 06.
Yeah, John Woods had a tough night here tonight. He was involved in something earlier tonight as well.
That comes out with 4 to go. Watch here in the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, it looks like Bill Kahn gets into the back of John Wood right there. Doesn't have a lot of damage until he goes to pull away right here, and then he actually right there, he really makes some damage to the right.